Alrighty, Reprise number 5. I believe this is the annoying ass fight. Oh, who was featured on here? It wasn't Dark Knight Cecil. That was oh god, Dark Knight Cecil might be coming up later. I remember that Daredefy being annoying, or not Daredefy, Dimension's End. But here we have the Lunatics. What is it called? Armaloi? I don't freaking know. All I know is we brought a Type 0 type theme team, mostly because Kurasame does provide Ice Enchant, and that's actually pretty important for this fight, just because at the 50% mark, if you let them get to it, they do absorb every type, but they are still weak to elemental weakness. So, you know, just having an Enchant and an Imperil on the team is just pretty useful for this fight. And if you have that, it's really not that much of an issue. Like, you kind of just, you know, play the game as you normally would. Kurasame, you'll notice, like, we don't have damage protection on the team, like, in terms of the tank, but Kurasame's BT effect is still crazy. You know, a lot of people slept on it for, like, no good reason. And sucks to be them, because I'm gonna have a fun time just not bringing a tank. I did pull for Orin. I did I went to pity for him, and I didn't get a single copy of his FR until the last 400 G tokens, so that was kind of hilarious. Like, the game knew I was going to pity, and I was like, yeah, you know I want Orin. I'll spend the gems, whatever. Just gimme. So I got him, but surprisingly enough, I don't think I'll be using him for this Reprise, just because I think he's like he doesn't provide all that much, in all honesty. So not super like necessary or anything. We did bring Deuce along. Deuce is gonna help us basically heal up, because this guy, or these bosses, will reduce our HP to the point where we will need to heal. And they're gonna reduce us by a lot. Like, they're gonna put us to the red, and it's gonna look real scary. But it's actually not, yeah, all that terrifying, as long as we keep the Brave under control. And Deuce also can force charge as well. I do have her FE 30'd for when she finally gets her BTFR go around. I do need to save some gems for when that actually does come back, because I am a little lacking on the gem side. You know, there's some units that I just kind of wanted to pull for, and this time around for this month, they're just like this month and last month wasn't the luckiest in the world when it came down to it, but you know, it's fine. They're nowhere we haven't been before. Deuce also provides quite a bit of buffs to the party as well when she does Concerto, so you know, this just helps remove these unwanted frameless red buffs. Unfortunately, not that many on herself, but that's fine. You know, she's not going to be the main DPS or anything. And that poison is coming from their force time, so not much we could do there in that department anyway. So that's perfectly fine. What do? And she's got her EX. And surprisingly, Deuce's damage isn't terrible for support. Like, check that. I think this will do like. Oh, let's put these debuffs on just because Lamau. And Deuce's like damage output on her own turn, she like does 1,000,000 per button, which isn't terrible. At least I think this EX does like 1,000,000 AoE. Oh no, 800k, my bad, Lamau. I don't know why I was remembering. Maybe it's because I had Kurasame's BT effect up when I was testing it earlier. Because I did do a test of this just to see if it did work with the elements. Because like the first time I tried, I kind of got, you know, ass blasted by the whole absorb mechanic. And it just took a little bit of reading, because I am a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I wouldn't know the first thing about reading. No, but yeah, once I saw that Seven's Elemental Lash worked, despite this 50% being up, that's when I was like, oh, okay, I'll just bring an element. And Kurasame's perfect for the Type 0 theme, excuse me. Oh man, so how are we gonna do this? I think what we want to do, I'll just keep bombarding this guy with Elemental Lash. It's just so fun. 8 HP attack. 1.1. Eh. These days, man, power creep is crazy. Power creep is crazy. I can't believe I'm just like, eh. And that's actually really good for what you just did. Oh, did I just break him out of order? I believe I did. Although this fight does have a pretty weird turn rate. And here I'm actually going to opt to go for Kurasame's BT phase, just because, I don't need to finish it. Just because, oh god, I lost my train of thought. Oh, we're not really going to need it. Just because we're going to want to not finish these guys in the burst phase. If we finish these guys in a burst phase and they decrease our health to the point where, you know, they've died after it and I can't heal back, we lose the run. Just because there's I don't know if it's strict, But these guys will definitely reduce our health enough to the point where, you know, we will fail the mission requirements. So finishing this fight in the BT phase, if you're not using a character like Rosa or something, or maybe even like I used Ashe earlier, and she actually would have been a great... Man, I kind of regret using Asher so early now, because her in this fight handles, you know, the mechanics perfectly. She enchants the party. You know, she heals in her own BT phase. If you wanted to BT rush it down, you could. She's a magic FR, so she can cancel that effect. Lamau. Ah, well, hindsight, you know, 2020. If I would have known, if only, if only. Well, we still have plenty of good units to spare. And man, I can't wait for a Deuce BTFR. I'm running a little bit low on gems, and I don't know if I'm going to be pulling on Weiss or not, just because I will use tickets up until LD, but I'm just kind of low in resources in general. Like, I have been pulling a lot more than I should, and I have a lot of BT materials now. I feel like I have quite a bit, but I'm kind of just lacking on the resources to pull the BTs. I've kind of gotten to that conundrum. So I'm not exactly sure what my pull plans are going to be looking like for the near future. I know like there's supposed to be like Cater coming up, Queen, you know, the Type 0. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go super ham for either of their BT or FR. Like, I do know those fights that are going to be coming up with them are fairly annoying, particularly Cater's fight. Another one of those, you know, requires, I believe it's imperils, so like melee imperil, ranged imperil, and phys imperil, and magic imperil. So, you know, one of those fun fights. Luckily, Edgar, I think, is boosted for that, so shouldn't be that bad. Then there's another chance to get Edgar right now on Banner, I think, so get him while you can, because he will make those annoying fights just a little less annoying. Needle Shower. Yeah, and this is why we have Deuce in the party, just so we can heal up. And they also have like a mechanic where if you get to a certain enough, or if you spam enough, instant turn, they will just warp up, I think, which is kind of annoying. We have a little bit of healing here, but we do have Kurasame's BT effect up, so they won't be gaining any Brave. So even when they are going to be taking turns, they're not really going to be a threat to us, because Kurasame's BT effect is fucking busted. And we are going to be using the Kurasame FR time too, just because it's the best generic one for the party. We could also use 7, but that also means getting into this guy a little more. This guy is going to get into his BT time, but that's into their 50% threshold. So they are going to absorb everything except the non-elemental, or basically every type, but weapon or weakness overrides the elemental weakness. So normally this would be really bad. But because we have a Kurasame and he's just enchanting the party for ice, we're just going to break through that no problem. And now the fight's just basically, we just whack them with the stick and watch them melt, basically. And I remember having trouble with this fight initially. I think I got through it the first time with Golbez, I think it was like Golbez and Aerith. And I think I brought Aerith to avoid the debuffs from their FR time. I don't remember why I brought Golbez. Maybe it was the same idea for the Brave Freeze? I don't know, like I saw that clear and I was like, what was I thinking back then? All I know is I did it, and I don't really remember the fight all that well. So I'm like, alright, whatever. At least it shows that I've done it. And it's just nice to bring Deuce back out. You know, it's been a little bit since we got to use her. I was thinking about bringing Ramza in her place, but I don't like the overlapping Ultima weapons, and then I figured I might as well, you know, Ramza can heal, but he doesn't heal nearly as much as Deuce does, so point in her favor there. Good healing. Maybe I should have saved this FR Echo. I know this is like one of the more damaging ones, or at least it was when it first came out, and this is like a pretty old Shinryu. So maybe saving it there would have been a good idea. Again, here's a Needle Shower, that's perfectly fine. Because we're going to be getting pretty low throughout the fight, like, and if we do enough damage, we might proc that multiple times in a row. Yeah, why not? Let's just go for the Echo again. Let's get that gauge real high. And I'll probably save 7's Echo until the very end. Maybe I could nuke one of these guys to the point where they don't Needle Shower me twice. But I kind of doubt it. Did we proc 2 of them? Probably just one into this guy being another. Because we can him a healing, but I'm actually going to save that. And we're just going to go ahead and diss Sonata. Play the flute on him, Deuce. Get him. Oh, that's just a power increase? I thought that was another needle shower. I think they have 2 more coming up. Yeah, normally that would have been a big issue, but Kurasame's BT effect, man. Don't sleep on Brave Freeze. Brave Freeze is absolutely absurd. One of the craziest things. Or it's probably like one of the craziest BT effects. Pagoosh. Here I think I'm actually just going to EX and put the snake bite right back on A. Needle shower Lamau. Man, these needle showers, you know, it looks really scary on our part. It's like, oh god, we're at double-digit HP. And our gold buff will heal us a little bit, but then bring us back down because HP poison. And look, we're down a lot in terms of the mission requirement. So it looks scary, but trust, it's under control, maybe. Hopefully. Maybe bringing Alexander summon would have been a good idea. Just so I could heal up instantaneously if I needed to. Oh man, we didn't break that guy. Oh, now we did Lamau. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I think I'm going to go ahead and go for 7 FR Echo and just nuke that guy, you know, from existence. Cease to exist, unalive. And then on Deuce's turn, we'll probably just heal up a little bit and then him of healing. 25 million, just single target. Then 7 plus Kurasame, you know, setting them to 0 is pretty funny. Oh god, if he broke us, that might have been an issue. But he did not break us, so that's fine. So here we'll just go ahead and play a little concert. Now, not the most healing in the world from that, but her LD actually does quite a bit of burst heal. So that should put us over to where we need to be. There you go. And just like that, this fight's mechanics were handled fairly easily. And the whip should finish it, please? Yeah. And there you go, so simple. It looks kind of annoying at first, like if you don't bring an elemental enchanter, but I think if you just bring an elemental enchanter, a tank, and just some way to heal, you'll be perfectly fine. Like, I opted for Kurasame over a tank because I'm like, he could do enchant and protect the party. So I figured, you know, 2-in-1 roll coverage there just lets me bring an Echo character like 7. There you go, boys. There's the run. Type 0 theme team. Take it easy.